Hey guys, Kelly here from J6 Ranch. Rainy day here in Welch, Oklahoma. I was going to do a video for you on how I tie up my frames, just getting ready for spring. It's the 23rd of February 2020. What I'm doing is I'm just getting my frames ready with some fishing line so that they can support the weight of the wax when I spin it out. We've not always used a wax spinner. We've always used cut comb, and we would cut comb and then squeeze out the rest and put a piece of comb in with the honey. Last year I did real well on selling my honey in honey bears. So my son talked me into buying a extruder. We bought a real cheap extruder. You've seen that video. If you haven't, go through my list there. You'll see my other videos. I have an unboxing of the cheapest honey extruder that we've ever bought, or that you can find on Amazon, not that we've ever bought. Anyway, so I'm here in my shop, sitting next to the fireplace, enjoying the sound of the fireplace, sound of the rain, and we're going to tie up some frames, so let's get to it. So what I'm using is some old fishing line. It doesn't matter what it is, but this is 25 pounds. Just old line that I've had sitting around. That's what I use to tie my frames up. A roll like this will last you for a long time. And a piece of wire. You can use a nail, piece of wire. This is just baling twine that I have laying around out here on the farm. Any place out in the country has a bunch of it laying around, but you can probably find just an old nail or something to use. How I go about that, and you'll understand what it's for later. But I take and just cut me off a piece, about an inch long, maybe a little less, and it doesn't have to be very big at all. Just the size of a small nail. I take my fishing line here, just set that little piece to the side. Take your fishing line out. Take you 4 good arm lengths. The redneck measurement right there. 4 good arm lengths. I'm just going to simply tie that knot around this piece of, well, you can call it a nail. We'll call it a nail. It's easy to say. So I just make me a knot, just a simple little knot. And I tighten that up. And I use that pair of pliers to grab a hold of that piece of string, and I pull it tight. Make me another knot. Pull that tight. Now, that knot should hold us tight. Then we're going to get the other end of our string here. Take our frame. And this has got a starter strip in it. Sometimes I don't use starter strips. Sometimes I split this off right here. All the split end of the frame there, and I just turn this sideways, put a little wax on it, and use that as a starter strip. But I just happen to have the wax, so this has got a starter strip on it. So if you see at the bottom of the frames here, you see the holes inside the frame. I just take my end of my string and I stick it in one of those holes, and basically we're just going to go along and we're going to thread this out. So we'll thread this through all the holes in the frames. It's got holes on both sides. Had a little bit of wood in that hole there. It's not letting me get my fishing line through it. It's about fishing weather. I'd like to be using this line to throw out and try to catch me a catfish, and I will. Just a matter of time. If there's anything I'm better at than beekeeping, is fishing. That was a joke. I'm not an expert at either one, but I enjoy doing both. All right, so when you get your string in there, it's gonna be hard to pull this way. You can't get that string to pull because it's tight. So what you kind of have to do, you see this fishing line here, you just kind of have to get that going, get it to run through there so that you can pull it tight, because it builds up friction. The wood holds onto that string. Once you get it going, it'll pull on out. You can hear how tight that's getting. Okay, see our little piece of wood here? The idea behind that, and the reason I do it, is just like this. When you pull it tight, that holds it. Okay? So then you're gonna hold onto the string with your hand, kind of wrap it around your fingers. Just get a good wrap so that you can use it as leverage. Like that. And then you're gonna push against the frame and hold it tight. Okay? And then while you got it held tight, you're going to take this and you're going to stretch. Where were we? So stretching this string out, it's a pretty simple thing, but if you haven't done it and you haven't thought about it, it's a little more technical than what you think, because you just getting that string tight's kind of difficult. So then I take my hand and I run it down my string and use that to give me some leverage. That pushes that string out, and you can see how that makes that string tight. Now listen. All right, so we got a tight string. Now we got to keep that string tight. Now I do that, holding tight. I go around this piece of wood. Let's go this way so you can see it. I go around and I hold it tight. And I use my thumb on top of that piece of string right here. I use my thumb to hold that. Now that holds it tight while I put this piece of string around that piece of wood. See how I just wrapped it around? It's wrapped around. Now, friction on that wood is going to hold that tight. Now I use a little screwdriver or something, and I come in there where that piece of string is wrapped, right below it. And I make me an indention in the wood. Just enough indention. I don't know if you can see that. Just enough indention that while I'm holding this wood and that string under it, cut that off some. Just enough indention there that I could take my piece of string and I could stick it underneath that other string, just like this. Well, gotta get it on the indention. Just like that. See how I use that indention there to get through there? That allows me to get under that. So then you come under your string again, just tie a simple knot. Now, there's one thing about beekeeping that you're gonna have to know if you're gonna be a beekeeper, is you're gonna get advice from all different types of people. And none of them are probably wrong. There might be a few wrong. So pull it tight, and then rock it back to your hole. Now you got a tight frame. And I'll do that 2 or 3 times. I'll run that circle just to make sure I've got it good. But anyways, you're gonna get advice in beekeeping from all different kinds of people. There may be people on here that tell me that I'm tying my frames up wrong and blah, blah, blah. But the thing about it, if it works for you, is it really wrong? There might be a better way of doing it. But hey, we all live and learn by doing the things we do, and we all like the ways we are. I'm a firearms instructor, and I teach cops and wannabe cops to shoot guns. And something I try to tell everybody is that I can't teach them to be a good shooter, but I can show them how to be a good shooter and put that tool on their belt. And the way they shoot isn't necessarily going to be the same way that I shoot. The way they shoot might be completely different. They might have a different stance. A lot of things may be different. But the fact is, I give them the tools to put on their belt, and then they use their tools to do the best job they can do. So that's what I'm doing here. So basically this is just string, and that allows you, when you spin this frame, that comb that's built up around this string and through the string, it allows it to, when it spins, not throw your comb off. And that's the whole idea behind it. So hope I put a tool on your tool belt that you can use. If you don't like doing it my way, there's 100 different ways of doing it. None of them are necessarily wrong, just as long as you're having fun and your bees are healthy. See you later, guys.